All right, so the next drawing is isometric. We're going to do the same thing we did for oblique, but we're going to make an isometric. And you can see that I started one and I started too low when I ran off the paper. So I think that the small grid, even though it's a crappy copy, is going to work better. So I started too low, so I'm going to start up in the middle. And the way I'm going to start is I'm going to pick, again, I need to, where'd my ruler go? So I'm going to start with 2 inches deep, right? And remember, I need to stay on the lines. Oof. How did I do that? Boy, it's hard to find these lines sometimes, isn't it? So, actually the way I started was, this is hard for me to see. I'm not an expert on these. I'm just doing the best I can, the same as you. All right, let me put this over here. What is going on? This paper is sideways. Okay, yeah, that's what the problem was, is I had the paper turned funky. Okay, now I can do it. So I'm going to start, I hope this fits. I'm going to start with 2 inches again. Right, that's how deep it goes. And then it's 2.5. So remember, I got to stay on the lines. I can't cut across. So it was 2.5 inches thick. So I go 2.5 inches, and I draw a line. And remember, these are supposed to be construction lines, so we're not supposed to draw them heavy. We want to be able to erase them easy. And so then I drop down 2 inches, because everything in this direction needs to be 2 inches thick. And then I finish off my parallelogram like that. All right? And so this is the front. So when it was oblique, remember, it looked square, but on an isometric it looks like a diamond. So the next thing I need to do is I need to finish the box off. And so remember, on an isometric, all the faces come to a point. So here's this face, and remember we said it was 4.5 inches, so we're going to go ahead and make it 4.5 inches deep. Hopefully that'll fit. I straight off the line. That's why you want to draw really soft, so you can erase. And all right, 4.5 inches on the line. I'm just going to go 4 inches because I'm kind of running off the book that I have this setting on. It's not really a critical dimension, right? So if that's 4 inches, I need a parallel line coming off of this corner, which is also 4 inches. And that goes to about right here. So it's tough for me to be in a system where I'm using inches, but I think that's the kind of graph paper I bought. So, all right, stole. All right, so I've got that. So I'm kind of making an upside down box, and that's okay. So these really should come to the same place. So we drop down, kind of a little over there. All right, you can see I've got a nice box started. So then I come off of this. So this is 2.5. And again, I didn't quite plan it out right. I kind of ran out of room. And then this is going to finish off like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and go right off the graph paper, or off the part of the graph paper that was printed correctly, and that's okay. All right, so here is this is my construction, and I'm going to turn it over because this is the way I like looking at things. All right, and honestly, for isometrics, they should be pointing the other way, so I kind of did it wrong. The convention is for them to point off this way instead of back this way, and we're just going to say, oh well. All right, so again, we want to create a front. So I'm going to sketch across the front. I'm going to sketch across the top, and again, I'm going to connect the lines. I don't even know if this is going to work, honestly. Let's see what happens if we erase these construction lines. Do we have something that looks like a front? Yeah, actually that kind of worked. All right, and then we can put a, all right, so that's going to be the hood. This is the windshield. And the other thing I need to do is then create a top for the cab. So just pick, all right, and then this is going to be the bed back here. So I want to drop it down, maybe about halfway, and create a bed. And so basically I'm cutting off all of this and creating a truck bed. All right, so it's down here. So now the back of the bed comes off the back corner, like that. And I can still have this right here. So does that make any sense? Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. We can make that an object line so it's clearer. And we can do a little something inside the bed to make it look more like a truck bed, right? Kind of show that it's got walls. I don't know, that didn't really work. You wouldn't be able to see this wall, so this should come like that. And now we can start rounding things off to make it not look like a boxy old Volvo. So again, I just start rounding off my corners like that, and maybe round these off like that, and round off the windshield like that, and I can round off the top. I don't know. So I'm going to get, really I should round this off too. So this needs to actually all be rounded like that. Oh yeah, that looks good. I do say so myself. I might want to have a little line here to show that that's the, that's how that is. Right, and maybe a line like that to help. I don't know, there's still a point right there. So maybe round that off there. Oh, there we go. All right, and so there's my Tesla pickup, isometric. And remember this dimension going across here is 2.5. And it's 2 inches deep. And how long it is doesn't really matter. All right, that's the isometric.